Well, we are back for another episode of Gotham Knights. I've been waiting for this episode. We finally got the Court of Owls, and just whenever the Court of Owls are in this series, they don't come across like a secret society. One thing I always find strange with them, especially in this episode, is they are over elaborate with things that they don't need to be, yet they're not elaborate with things that they should do. They should be. They don't seem to operate like a secret society would. It's only really when it's convenient. When it's convenient, they're all secret. Other times, they do things where it's like, well, how is this? When has a secret society seem to have gone out of their way to expose themselves? So that's one strange thing I find about this series. Other than that, this episode, again, Court of Owls, we've got a side story with Stephanie and her drugged up mother. That's a lot of fun. That definitely seems to play into things. No, it's just there. Again, every episode, there's just some side story where it's like, this isn't really servicing anything. It's just kind of thrown in there, just arbitrarily, I can't say it. In an arbitrary way. It doesn't really, again, there's no service to what we're actually doing in the episode. It's just, here's Stephanie and her crackhead mum. And that's really all it is. Stephanie's mum and dad. I think we'll get into a lot of that, but they seem to, I don't know. None of it really makes any sense. But that's been most of these episodes anyway. But let's get into it. There's no point messing about. So we start out with... fucking hell. So we start out with these two guys that they're doing some deal with guns. There's some gun transaction stuff going on. And then what happens is you get these right. So just to point out that our heroes, Turner and Carrie, they're standing on the ground. I don't know why this guy's going up there. How much strength do you have to be able to do that? It's not even a conversation of strength. It's more of, no, you're not standing. You're standing ground level with these guys, yet they're flying up into the air. I don't know why there's so many things that do that. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. You just go straight back. And that's pretty much all there is. So they do that. They're roughing these guys up. They come over to the truck full of guns, and Turner's like, "There's enough firepower in here to arm the entire criminals in Gotham." I'm like, not really though, is it? There's not that many guns there. What is there? Maybe about 45. I don't think that's gonna arm every criminal. I'm pretty sure the criminals have already got guns. That's why they're criminals. So, I don't know how that's going to work. Carrie says, "Oh, that's probably the plan." What? I don't know. What they're doing in this episode, at the start of the episode, is remember that ledger that they got in episode 6, and then in episode 7, they completely forgot about the ledger, which I did forget to point out, that they completely forgot about the ledger that has all the addresses of stuff to do with the Court of Owls. Yet for the entire episode, last episode, they completely forgot about it, and they were acting as if, oh, we have nothing to go on. That's what they did the whole last episode, and now it's come up again. They seem to just be randomly going, right, let's go to this address and sort this thing out. And that's it doesn't really have anything to do with the Court of Owls. All it has to do with is the criminal activity that is going on around Gotham. I don't really know how that's getting you closer to the Court of Owls. I don't see you questioning anybody. Maybe ask some questions like, oh, who's employing you? None of that happens. It's just, we're going to use this ledger, after we forgot about it for an episode. And then we're going to go off and stop this gun deal going down. And they don't think to maybe ask them questions about the Court of Owls. Like you would if you want to find the Court of Owls. So they don't do any of that. You've got, what's her face? I forget her name now. I always forgetting names because there's nothing to give anyone any impression. That, you know, there's no impressions being given by any of these characters, so that's why you constantly forget what the names are. That's Harper, isn't it? Yeah, Harper. So yeah, for some reason, what they've done is, so I don't know. For some reason, the police are coming. I don't know why. So what they called the police, and then they went and took out the criminals. Because the way they have it work is they've told Cullen to go and get a getaway car. You know, I'm pretty sure they had a car. To go and get a getaway car as they're doing this thing. You know, they of course don't want to get caught because they're still fugitives. Why would you do it this way? Why would you not get the getaway car first? Get that first, have it waiting for you, then you can just leave. Why oh no, we're going to go and start it while Cullen goes and steals a car? I don't know why you're doing it that way. And then why are the police showing up? They did that in, I think it was like episode 2 or 3, where Carrie takes down this guy and the police just, you know, just turn up. Why? They just turn up out of nowhere. So it's the same here. It's just, oh, police show up. Who called them? Why? I find it funny they just turn up as soon as you've beaten these guys, and the way you've done your plan is, we do this and wait on Cullen getting a getaway car. Get the car first. It's not difficult. But again, they are so dumb. This entire group of heroes, I wouldn't want them to attempt to save me. That's how dumb they are. So that's how they've started out with that stuff. He brings a food van. You know, that you get hot dogs and stuff. What? And he says, "Oh, it's the only thing I could find." What? That's the only thing you could find, a slow food truck in a city with loads of cars. You went with, oh, there was only a food truck there. Okay. That's how that works. That's how you do that. You get a food van, because apparently there's no more cars in a city where it's populated by many, many cars. Okay, you haven't done it that way. So the police show up and they arrest those guys. And then we get back in here where just, you know, out of the blue, it's, oh, look at these watches. They all line up in the same time. Because, yeah, Cullen's justification for why he was late on bringing the car, even though you would just get the car beforehand, was, oh, my watch broke. You don't have a phone? You know, I'm kind of glad you don't get a phone because you don't have a phone because you are a fugitive. So you've done something smart there. Although it's just like, you know, his watch broke. And it's the Court of Owls watches. So they break, and what are they talking about here? Yeah, so, you know, we see them looking over the ledger that they forgot about for an entire episode, and, you know, they were trying to find new information about the Court of Owls. The ledger didn't come up. They forgot about that the previous episode. So Duella's, you know, she's being quirky as always. So yeah, it's right here where Cullen notices, oh, look at these watches. If I line these watches up, they all like spin. See if we can see it. Yeah, they all spin round at the same time. Like they do it like 3 times in a row. So that's how the Court of Owls have done that for some reason. It's like the Court of Owls know that some of their watches are missing. Yet they're still using the watches to tell people where to go and what time to be there. So, again, everything they do just goes against being a secret society. And it's, again, with this as well, it's done in a way that's so over-elaborate. You know, you need to... I don't know how they do it with the watches. I guess if you open the watches up, there's like a signal in there. There's like some communication thing that puts the time and place of where you need to go. Rather than just saying, hey, Jim, come down here at 9 o'clock. No, we've got to do it in a way that is just, you're just giving yourself more work. When you could just mention it to someone. So that's what they noticed, but we come back to that at some point. We then go to Harvey. He's putting Cressida. He's putting old Cressida into this safe house. What gets said. Yeah, Harvey's like, the court won't find you here, and they do later on. Yet for some reason they have still not found the fugitives. How can they find this woman and not the Gotham Knights as well? Because the Gotham Knights are very sloppy in covering up where they actually are. Yet with her, it's just, oh, we know exactly where she is because we need her to. The script needs her to be found, whereas our fugitives still haven't been found. And how much time has passed, and they still haven't been found, and they're very sloppy. So she gets found later on. That's fine. That's she's allowed to get caught. I don't know why they do it that way. We just get a very weird conversation. Again, the one thing you notice a lot in this show is the dialogue. Like, a character will say something, and then another character will say something that doesn't follow on from what that other character just said. Like, it happens all the time, especially with this character. You know, I'm pretty sure it was the opening episode. Her and Harvey had a conversation. I'm just like, what is going on here? I don't know how this is a conversation between two people. You know, he says like, oh, the court won't find you here, you'll be safe. And then she says, you do realise you need me to be alive to talk. How do you get that from the court won't find you here? I'm pretty sure he knows that if you... I guess it's for our benefit that she says, oh, by the way, audience, just in case you didn't know, if I get found by the Court of Owls, I can't talk. Oh, thanks. Thanks. I couldn't figure that out. So, again, they do that, and it doesn't follow from what was just said. I'm pretty sure we can take from him saying, the court won't find you here, that he needs you alive to talk, because of course he does. I don't know why he hasn't gotten a talk yet. She wants some sort of deal, like immunity. But it's like, you need this information, Harvey. Just beat it out of her if you have to. Something's clearly going down. Something big, as she said, something big is going down. So how about tell him, so we can sort this mess out. So that's pretty much that scene. So we can move on from that. He leaves. He's just like, you be safe here. They'll never find you. They'll never find you. They find her by the end of the episode. Right, okay. Because I don't know why they didn't really think about it. Because it's like, the thing that they don't seem to understand in this show is that a secret society watches everything. They know exactly what is going on. You don't know who these people are. They could be anywhere. They could be easily watching you. So I don't know why you'd put her in this safe house anyway, because you don't know who's watching. And it's the same with the Gotham Knights. They're very sloppy going around when it's like where secret society should know all. They should have ears to the streets. Yet they just don't seem to be. It's just, oh, well, the script says we need Cressida so we can find her easily, whereas the Gotham Knights, we can't do that. But then we go back to the guy that got stabbed right through the back. Now it's becoming very strange why the Talon stabbed him in the back. You know, by the sort of revelation we get at the end. The revelation is quite obvious anyway. But even it's like very strange why this guy got stabbed in the first place. I don't know how they're going to explain that, because it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's the guy that got stabbed with a big sword through the back. He's fine. He's not dead. Right, okay. So he's been... So yeah, this is the woman that Harvey is cheating with. She's cheating on her husband with Harvey. Harvey's doing very well as a character so far. So he lays down. He's like, oh, I'm all fucked and everything. And then, oh no, he drops his phone on the floor. And then he finds cufflinks with Harvey Dent's initials on them. Right, so now he knows that Harvey's been ploughing his wife. And it's... just fuck off. That's how everything happens. It's just this big domino effect. where it's like, oh, a phone falls, and then Harvey Dent's cufflinks are down there with. I don't know why Harvey has cufflinks with his initials on. You know, you would think if it was something like that had your initials on, that's something you paid for and you probably wouldn't leave around. But it's just laying there, like very, very easy to see. You know, I'm surprised the wife, or you know, I guess their maid hasn't come across it. But okay. So yeah, he doesn't tell her that he knows, but yeah, he knows. And then we go back to the watches, where we get a bit of an explanation on that. So they all spin like 3 times in a row, basically to give. So it's, you know, it's a time, and then it's latitude and longitude. Again, it just seems like so much work to me that you're doing it that way. Like, what we're gonna do to get our followers to come to a place at a specific time is we're gonna. I don't know how they. I guess, do the members program these watches to do this? Do the Court of Owls have something that, you know, some sort of communication device in these watches that you know, sends out a signal and updates the watch with a new time and place? I don't really know how it works, but they all so it's like 7:02 and then 3 whatever, just to explain where what time to go to a certain place. It's like you can just tell them. I mean, it's the elite of Gotham. I'm pretty sure they all know each other. So the idea that they can't just walk up to them and go, "Here, Dudley, can you come to this place at 9 p.m.?" There's no reason for that. It's just so over elaborate. And they're still using it this way, even though some of the watches are missing. They know that the watches were stolen from, what was it, episode 3 or 4? So they know the watches, and they're still communicating this way. So again, it's like over elaborate, and then it's like, well, it's very stupid, because now you're giving the Gotham Knights your location and what time you're going to be there. And it just so happens that tonight is the night. That was very lucky, very, very convenient, wasn't it? That it was specifically this night that you realised, oh, the watches are telling us the place and time where the Court of Owls are going to be. That is very lucky. That could have been the day after, or the day before. So that's basically how the watches are explained. We have to get a flashback of this guy saying, "Watches all the time." You know, it's the Court of Owls rhyme, which I still find funny they haven't looked into whatsoever. They haven't read the Court of Owls rhyme and tried to figure out, you know, put pieces together, going, what could this possibly mean? They haven't done any of that. They're still like, oh, watches all the time. Well, you could have figured that out in episode 1. You had the rhyme. Duella told you about it. You know, it's a good. There's a good hint there in the rhyme. That's the point in it. So yeah, it's him just saying watches all the time. I don't really know how that, whatever. But yeah, that's essentially how they're explained. I don't think there's much else to talk about, really. I think I went through everything here. So yeah, so that's what we find out. It seems to be this day that they're meeting. It's very convenient that that's turned out. So yeah, even like, I don't know. We'll just move on. We should just move on. So it's like this place that they're meeting at. And again, when we eventually go to like the place where they're meeting, everything is just done in a suspicious way. It's like you're a secret society. Why are you making it obvious that something's going on in this building? They've got like flames outside it and all that. Like, people can see those, and they'll come about and go, "What's going on over here?" So that's apparently where the meeting is going down. We'll get to that eventually, but oh no, what's her name? Stephanie. Stephanie gets a call on the phone from the doctors saying, what is the thing they call it? That your chlorzoxazone prescription is ready. So it's obvious that, oh, you drugged up mum to get more subscriptions, to get more prescriptions. She's been using your name. You know, I don't think you can do that, but, you know, I guess they have their ways I think they do mention it that, oh, you can shop around when you got money for doctors. So it's like, why do you need to use your daughter's? Why do you need to use your daughter's name to get prescriptions then? When you can just go, oh no, I've got money, I can just buy all these drugs. But that's all we've been getting from Stephanie at the moment. Is the previous episode she had a fight with a bag of opioids. She like literally had a fight with them. Just a little bag of opioids. She started punching them and all. Very comical to watch. So yeah, now she's going off on her little side story. And again, it's just pointless. I don't fucking care. I just do not care. So we've got this guy. He's like up now with his cane. He's going on. Oh, the person that clearly stabbed me was Turner Hayes. How is that clear? For what reason? What reason does he have to stab you in the back? He has no reason to. But that seems to happen a lot in the show as well. Is so that you just have these people going, oh, it was them. When it's like, what what points towards it being like Turner Hayes being the culprit? None of it does. They just say, oh no, it was him that killed me. That tried to kill me. Yeah, I don't think that's the case, mate. But okay. So he's going. So he finishes off on the one thing that we need answers for is where is Harvey Dent? He didn't go missing. I don't know why he says it that way. He says it that way as if Harvey Dent has went missing. When it's like, no, he's at work. He's just at work. Just pop down to the old police station. He'll be right in there. Or the DA's office, where it seems like he's in a police station. Are they usually in police stations? They're usually at the courts, aren't they? Like district attorneys. But he's always at the. I don't. It always seems like in this show that they seem to think that like being a DA is the same as being a detective. He's always out like doing all this work. It's like you're just supposed to, put people behind bars. Yet you're always out there doing the police's work. So they think that he's a detective and a district attorney. So we go back to the old Gotham twats. They're always great to hang around. I don't think I'm missing anything here. So yeah, they're trying to come up with a plan like, oh, it's going down the night. This will be our last chance. They may not meet again after that. Well, they will, won't they? And you've got their watches that they are still using, even though they know that they're stolen. There's one's missing. So it's not really your last chance, is it? So yeah, that's all it is here. She says, Harper says, oh, why don't we wait till next time so we can prepare? I guess you would just go and do it, wouldn't you? You would just go, now we've got an opportunity here. It was just lucky that we looked into those watches right now. So yeah, they're gonna need the owl masks, and he's gonna make them with a 3D printer. Harvey gets a call from that whore that he's that he's banging, that's been cheating on her husband. She's like, I'm so afraid. The news have never seen what he's actually like behind closed doors. He's dangerous. Talking about her husband. So he's getting ready. For some reason, the person he went with to do this mission with him was the crazy one, was the wild card. That's who he picked when he's sneaking into it. She's crazy. She's not really crazy. She just thinks she's crazy because her dad's the Joker. That's all she bases it on. So a lot of this crazy stuff is all just played up, really. So she comes down. I guess they're gonna make them fall in love, because he starts like getting the breath knocked out of him, where he's like, Koeman in his pants almost. So they're probably gonna make them two like fall in love. He's like, oh, you're so beautiful, Duella. So they're doing that quite. That's what we're getting now. We had it seems like Harper and what's her fate? Harper and Stephanie are going to start scissoring. And now we're gonna have these two start, you know, banging and stuff. So they start talking to, I don't know, about privilege or some shit like that. You know, he's like, oh, you know, I know what it's like to be around these rich people or something like this, like that. And then she says something which I didn't even bother writing down because I just kind of moved on from it. But it was just like, oh yeah, I know the types that their privilege is something to do with being con men. I don't know. I really I don't know. But it was essentially, you know, those rich privileged people is whatever. And then she starts talking about my mum, my mum, her mum. She starts talking about her mum like, I don't know, it's something to do with, you know, them being in disguises. She's like, oh, my mum was the best con artist ever. She changed her identity so many times that when she got to Arkham Asylum, they just called her Jane Doe. You know, I don't know what that's. It comes across like a reference to something. I don't know. But yeah, whatever. Yeah, Mummy's in Arkham Asylum still. I wonder if we'll get a visit from her at some point. So Harvey turns up. Cressida's gone. A tape is left for him with like Court of Owls music. It's like music they leave behind. They leave evidence behind. Good idea. So yeah, it just plays music, and it's like, oh, they've got her because I just put her in this house. I didn't really check to make sure no one was watching. She's been found, yet the Gotham Knights, they're a lot sloppier, and they still haven't been found. They're just in the clock tower at the school. How obvious is it? So yeah, she's been taken. Great idea, Harvey. Don't just interrogate her straight away. Get the information straight away. So they're still driving about in this tacos truck. Because apparently, I don't know why they've got this. I guess it's just for, so we can have a little, you know, computer and all that in the back of it. But I'm still like, they're turning up at this place in a tacos truck, and they're like just back from the door a bit. In a that's like the most like obvious thing that, there's people in there doing something. You know, it just stands out, doesn't it? A tacos truck. So they're going over the plan or something like that. She gives him a. Do we see it? Yeah. So that little pin is something that so you can see what's going on in there. You know, it's basically a camera. Looks a bit suspicious to me, but okay. She's done an upgrade. Carrie Kelly's glasses. Wow. And they did it in like the most generic way possible. I took the liberty of upgrading your glasses. Fuck off. How many times have we heard a line like that now? It's just become so generic. I took the liberty of upgrading your wares. Right, okay. I don't think it doesn't really come up anyway. So, you know, it's some, I don't know, heat signature shit. So they also say that the comms are spotty around here, so she's going to have to take an augmentation regenerator, whatever, on the roof, so we can talk to each other. I don't know why, I don't know what the point in that is. Why not just have it in the script that it just, you know, you just put an earpiece in and you can hear them. That's all you need to do. You don't need to start jumping on roofs to put some augmentation bollocks on the roof. You can just have it work. There's no point in having this. So they've got their masks, but before we get to that, we just throw in family drama for some reason. Again, it's always just thrown in there at a random time. It's like, no, you're taking us away from what, you know, what's more important, to do this little family drama shit. So, you know, Stephanie goes to see her dad, that, you know, about her mum using her name to get prescriptions because her mum is a junkie bitch for some reason. So, like, the dad is like, oh no, we got to help your mum by drugging her up, by letting her be addicted to these drugs because she's got a little pain. So he thinks, oh no, we're helping her by like almost letting her overdose on all this shit. And I'm just baffled. I'm like, that doesn't really seem realistic to me. You know, I just can't think of a situation where a family, the mother is addicted to, you know, whether it is opioids or whatever, and the family around them just keep giving it to them. I don't really buy that. I'm like, how does that make sense? I really don't know. So yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, she uses my name to get more prescriptions as well. Oh, you're a bit of a dickhead then, aren't you? So then he just goes into a whole spiel about, we can't put her in rehab because what about the tabloids? I'm what, you're worried about the tabloids finding out that you're helping your wife? That's what you're worried about. You know, it's just like, oh, if people find out, they use it against us. No, they use it against us, against you if you want it secret. That's how they use it against you. But I don't know in what sort of world that you helping your wife to stop being addicted to certain drugs, it is looked upon as some sort of bad thing. So I don't know what you're worried about the tabloids for. You know, that would be the, you know, what would you rather? Oh man, this famous game show host helps his wife get off drugs, or would you rather, you know, I don't know, game show host shags some woman? You know, what would you rather? So they've got it, but it's just to create this family drama shite. I don't care about it. It shouldn't even be in here, but you know, it's every episode. There's one character they can't figure out what to do with, so it's, oh, she has a bit of family drama. It adds drama. We need a bit of drama, so that's why. So we finally got the plan coming together, and they already start off suspiciously. They try to open the door when it doesn't work that way. How you do it is, if we can see it. So that little thing over there, that is, you hold the watch up to it. So the Court of Owls, even though like they don't use, you know, as has been explained to us, they don't use the same place twice. Yet they've taken the time, took the time to install this little scanner thing, which I don't know how it works. I don't know why you do it that way, because you already know some of your watches are missing. Anyone could have it. Maybe the people that are looking for you. So, I don't know. So, they piss about at the door. There's a camera up there. It's like, oh, you don't know what to do, so you already look suspicious. No, again, the Court of Owls are absolutely retarded, as always. So, they don't pick up these people are at our door. And like the rest of our members know exactly what to do to get in here. Yet these two don't. That would, you know, you'd notice that. You would notice that they don't know how to get in the door. And, you know, it's the same thing as well where, because they've done it, so there's no such, you know, there's no invitation. Yep, but they must know how many people are within their, you know, within their secret society. So when they see, oh, there's 2 extra people here, you know, someone's up to something here. No, none of that gets picked up on either. So yeah, they figure out that, oh, you got to use this thing. And they get in, you know, they open the door like that. I'm like, you're looking even more suspicious. Just stop doing it. And they get it. You've got Carrie's up here running across rooftops. I still don't know why you didn't just get Carrie to do this mission with you. I'm still just like, why did you get the crazy one that is unpredictable in what she does? You know, especially when you're going undercover to you know, get information out of the Court of Owls. But whereabouts are we now? I better change my page. So they finally walk in. They're going through all this. They hold hands. You know, it's like, oh, for some reason they're acting like she's afraid to come in here or something like that. No, she's crazy. I don't know what she's afraid about. And then he's like, oh, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. You can leave. I'll do it alone. I'm just, well, no, you're now at the point where there's no turning back. You can't just have one fuck off, because that will look more suspicious. But they go in, you know, they're clearly trying to set these two up as, you know, some sort of romance. So they go in. Do we get any sort of lines here? Yeah, and also I probably should point out that outside this building there's flames and stuff. I'm like, why are you doing it that way? You want this to be secret. So we get a glimpse of the sword because that's going to come up later on, of course. There's this little girl sitting there, right? Okay, and then finally the Grand Chief, Grand whatever his name is, and already I'm like, oh, it's that guy. It's the guy, the other guy that's running for mayor. It's so obvious. It's like I can tell by his hair and just by pretty much everything. It's obvious. So obvious that it's him. Those masks really don't do a good job at hiding you. So he starts giving a long speech where, oh, we're going to become immortal so we don't wither and die, so we become he just keeps repeating the same thing over and over. It's like, we got it. We understand what you want, immortality. So what this thing is, that I was wondering in the previous episode was, what the fuck is that? It just looks like a map. Does it show us? So, yeah, they unveil that. Why can't I see it? Yeah, they unveil that, so it's like a map. They're saying Alan Wayne betrayed us and stole this from us, and it took us. Why have they waited until now to get this back? The painting's just been hanging in an art gallery. Why have you waited this long to steal it? They had someone the previous episode steal it in a way where she waited for security, because that makes sense. To steal this painting when they control the city. They control the entire city. They don't need to steal things. They can just go and, right, we own this place. We're just going to take that painting. They could have done it at any point in time. It seems like it's very, very important to them, and they've waited until now. Waited until now to get this back. Alan Wayne's been dead about 50 years. Or longer, maybe 70 years. And they've only just now, all right, let's get that painting now. Why have you waited that long? It seems like when you're after some sort of immortality juice, which I don't know why you don't have, considering that is why the Talon is still alive, because of that. So you don't have enough for anything else. You don't think, oh, we'll hang on to that. Whatever, but it's took them this long to go looking for it. After years and years, it seems like immortality is something that you would that would be your top priority. You wouldn't wait after 70 years of Alan Wayne being dead. You just go and get it. But there's, as I say, they're very dumb. So that's what they're after. They call it, what do they call it again? Where the fuck am I? They call it Electrum. It says, we shall live forever, so we don't wither and die. And then he just says like another 5 things that is basically that sentence. It's like, oh, we're trying to waste a bit of time. That's what we're doing. So then we get a bit of family drama. Stephanie comes into a drugged up mother. Her mother's a CUNT, of course, for some reason. Yeah, okay. Yeah, she's like, oh, where have you been? It's your curfew. She's like, oh, I was with my dad. And then she's like, yeah, your dad's a piece of shit because he loves you. What? She says, oh, my mother always told me that fathers care about their daughters. Something along those lines. I'm like, yeah, right, okay. I don't see how that's a bad thing. But yeah, she's out her absolute tits. She is out her skull on these drugs. She's got it here. So we get a big argument. Her mum's just a piece of shit, really. That's all I can say. She's just like, we've given you this house and everything like that. Therefore, you should let me get drugged up and kill myself. Okay. But yeah, it's just family drama that I don't care about. She runs off with the drugs. And her mum just demolishes the place. She puts them down the toilet. She's crying. Oh, I just don't care. I just do not care. Maybe if you started off with actual characters, maybe I would have investment. But I just don't. It just seems like fake drama to me. So what? Yeah, I don't. For some reason, it's on the internet about this Electrum stuff. It's just on a blog because it was in the papers in the 1920s. That a meteor. It's now turned into a sci-fi. A meteorite years ago fell out of the sky, and it had healing properties. And the government just let this get into a scientist's hands, and then let the papers talk about it. So it's just some mad scientist. But yeah, it just turned into one time a meteorite fell out the sky. It had healing properties. Oh, okay. But I don't really get why it's out there. You know, generally, if a meteorite falls out the sky, usually it's the government that get to it first. Make sure nobody touches it or goes near it. But okay, this mad scientist got it. So, yeah, they're told about what it is. They see the map. They're like, we're going to steal the map. Why? There's no reason to steal this map. The Court of Owls have already seen it. The idea that they don't have any more copies of this. You know, they wouldn't think, right, we've got this back now, so we better make a copy in case this one goes missing. You know, this is something of the utmost value to us. So we may not want to just leave it laying about and just have one of them. But even then, it's like where you've seen it. So Turner saying, oh, I'm going to steal the painting. Why? You've got no... That's like... You don't need to steal that. You don't need it. The Court of Owls have already seen it. That ship has sailed. They have seen the map. I don't know where it points out. Here is the immortality juice. I don't see how that... It's just a map of the city. So I don't know what information they're getting out of that. It's just there. So that's what they want to do. They want to steal it. But oh no, people come and they take it away. So what happens is, in the most suspicious way possible, is she punches Turner in the gut. She says, oh, to make it more authentic. She goes up to this guy and she's like, oh, my husband needs a bit of air. Can you let us go out here? Now, what this guy should say is, why do you want to go this way? That isn't the way outside. This way is the way down to go and get that painting. Something that is very, you know, of the utmost value to us. That's what he should say. But no, he says, yeah, go on then. Yeah, but that's not where the fucking air is. That's not outside. Outside is the other way. The way that they came in. So this guy has literally... let them go down to where this painting is. Fucking unbelievable. So, yeah, even like Turner's like, that was easy. Yeah, I know it was, because the fucking script done it, wasn't it? It shouldn't have been that easy. So, yeah, they've got to it. They got to it because that guy said, yeah, go down there. You know, you're not going to get any air down there, but, yeah, go down there. So, they've now found this. They got the painting. They take their masks off. Make sure I've missed anything here. No, I haven't. But oh no, you get two guys come in behind them that have guns and don't just shoot at them. So their guns are pointless having guns, but okay. So yeah, they just have a little scrap. Then they finally get to the painting. And she's like, you know, oh, we can't... He says, oh, we can't take it out in this frame. So she, like, cuts it so it comes out. And by the way, just to mention, I think it's worth mentioning, this is a piece of metal. You know, it's a thin piece of metal. She punches it, and it makes that sort of sound. You know what you would expect off a sheet of metal. And she rolls this piece of metal up like it's paper. I don't know how you've done that, but you know, you can see the way it is. It's like that's not stuff you can just. She just rolls it up, and then puts it up her dress. When it's like the sound that she made when she punched it out of the frame, it's like there's no way you just rolled that up. There is no way. But yeah, that's what she does. So yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So they start leaving, and then this guy says, "We have some traitors in our midst." You know, they think it's them, but it's not. It's Cressida. The Talon has got Cressida, even though he couldn't find the Gotham Knights. Just in the school clock tower. I don't know why they haven't led you to it yet. So he's found her. So that's the traitor that they're on about. So they bring her forth. And does she say, I don't think I wrote much down for this because there wasn't really much to it. It was just her saying, yeah, I'm glad I betrayed you because I lied to the people I held most dear. Even though I worked for Batman, so I literally could have told Batman about the situation and he would have helped me. But what I've done is I've waited until Batman's dead and then I've went and asked Harvey Dent, out of all people, when you worked for Batman. I don't know in which world that you work for someone like Batman and you don't tell him about your situation when it's like he's be able to help you. Well, to be honest, what they do in this episode with Batman is, Batman probably wouldn't be any help because they make Bruce Wayne an absolute idiot. Again, Batman isn't even in this show and they find a way to ruin him. They find a way to make him as dumb as they are. Where it's just like what is, they especially diminish it. It makes it seem like this, like he has achieved nothing in his entire crime fighting career. That's the way they make it seem. So yeah, that's what that is. She's about to get killed by the Talon. They're just like, nah, we're not having any of your shite. We're gonna cut your head off. She's like, I'm not apologizing to you. And then yeah, the Talon. Come on, yeah, that little girl says, kill her. He's like, Connor's like, I'm gonna have to save Cressida. It's what my dad would have done. So the Talon goes to slice her throat, her neck, and then Turner just comes up. So like these people just watched this guy grab a sword off the display and walk up to the Talon and cut his head off. And nobody said anything. So his head's off. They done the thing where someone walks up behind a person and then kills them. And they do it again at the end of the episode. For some reason, they do it all the time where they'll have two people standing like across from each other talking, and then just out of nowhere, it's like someone walks up and stabs them in the back. It's like you can see, if you're standing talking to someone face to face like that, you're able to see people coming behind them. There's no way that a head just completely blocks your view of anything. And they seem to be really big fans of that with this show. They've done it about 7 times. And it's really getting annoying. Especially the one we get later. So his head's off. He should be dead. But my guess is he probably isn't. Even though his head is detached from his body. I guess they have to sew it back together and it will work. But his head's off. So everybody just starts running. What's going on? Why are you all running? There's like, there's about, 50 of them? And there's just this one guy with a sword. Why are you running away? You could stop him, and he's yours. Because, they go and get him later on. So it's like, you can just get him now. But they all just start running. They all just start running off in all directions. There's more of you. He's not gonna kill you. Fucking hell. So yeah, she runs off out. She fights a couple of guys. She gets back with just take those fucking glasses off. So yeah, so for some reason he runs a different way. Rather than just running straight to the taco truck, he goes a different. He could have like left. He could have left at the same time as Duella, but he takes her the opposite direction. He starts taking her into the woods. It's like, no, that's not the way you get. That's not going to get you back to the taco truck. So he's just like, I don't want to hear your apologies and stuff. I've just saved you. It is what it is. Okay. Then Duella's like, again, it's obvious that they're making these two fall in love. She's like crying about it. It's like, oh, we got to get him. Because they seen on the... Oh, no, we're not at that bit yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. We got to go into the woods first, where they have a conversation about certain things that makes no fucking sense. Makes Bruce Wayne seem like he hasn't done anything for Gotham. Nothing whatsoever. So the information we get is that Bruce was changing his will. What Bruce was going to do was donate his fortune to the people of Gotham. Right, that on its own, that's fine. Right, you're dead. But it's the reason. It's the reason that it wouldn't work. The reason we're given is Bruce was going to give his fortune to the people of Gotham, so the city's poor would no longer have to resort to crime. Right, that's not how it. You can't. Just giving money doesn't solve the problem of crime. Think that's obvious. Doesn't matter. You know, there's always going to be crime, no matter what you do. But the idea, so what Bruce Wayne has done, he spent his entire life fighting the criminals of Gotham when he believes it can be solved with money, and he didn't do that already. Why wait till you're dead? Why would you wait if you think that the solution to stopping crime is by, giving them all this money, even though it wouldn't work that way, the money would eventually run out. But if you're under that belief, why would you spend all those years fighting crime? Why would you not just go, oh well, money is the solution, so I'll just give them all my money, that will solve everything. No, my core motive is to protect Gotham, is to rid Gotham of crime. Then why did you wait till you're dead to do that? So you just wasted your time. You wasted your time, and you thought, oh, when I'm dead, I'll give him a fortune. So they've made Batman a commie. But yeah, that's not how it works. If you just, I guess, like, sometimes poverty obviously plays a part in. Should I really even bother going into this? Because I don't really fucking care. There's crime in the world, and it can't be solved with money. It cannot. That's, it's the same. It's the same with hunger. It's like you can't solve hunger with money. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. You can give as much money as possible. It's never going to change. Never going to change the situation. You got to come up with better solutions. But yeah, so Batman could have just gave his money. That would solve crime. Instead, he dressed up as a bat when he didn't have to, because, well, at least under his sort of belief. But that's not something Batman would think. That, oh, if I give the people of Gotham my money, the poor, then that would stop. No, it doesn't work that way. He wouldn't believe that. And that's he wouldn't have to become Batman. So this makes no sense whatsoever. So she's like, crime thrives on poverty. Not necessarily. There's a lot of, you've got mobs, you got mafias. I wouldn't call them poor, yet they still do crime, because you can't just solve it with money. And she says the court thrives on crime. And Bruce wanted to break that cycle. The court couldn't have that. Right, so if you have a man going out dressed as a bat to stop crime, that would already enrage the court. But they waited. They waited for years and years for him to. Well, no. What it does is it makes it seem like, oh, so Batman actually, he didn't do anything. All these years fighting crime, he didn't actually achieve anything. That's what I get from lines like that. He did not achieve a thing. And then, yeah, it's like, crime thrives on poverty, the court thrives on crime. Bruce wanted to break that cycle, and the court couldn't have that. So why did they let him fight crime then? Because that stops them thriving on crime if there's less crime. So they didn't have to wait till he was going to donate his fortune to the poor, even though that wouldn't stop crime anyway. Surely the court must know that. I mean, how much poverty would you guess is in Gotham City? So how much money, out of Bruce Wayne's billions, how many, it's just a load of maths, isn't it? Load of maths, I can't be bothered doing it. So that's what they've done with Batman. They went a bit commie with it. They think they always think the solution's just, oh, get the rich people to hand over their money, that'll work. So, yeah, so Batman hasn't achieved anything. That's good. That's good to know. So then what happens? He's like, I want a name. I want a name. And then, oh, what do you know? We're getting to it. We're getting to it soon. Like, so there's no one there at the moment. So that's his view. He is taller than Cressida by at least, from that angle, about a foot. So he can see above her. He can see past her. He can see round the sides, round this side. Yet what happens here is she's about to give him a name. Or, well, not about to give it, but, you know, she's like, oh, I don't have a name or something like that. And then, oh, no, she's been stabbed. And you had that view. You had that view. You could see over the top of her head. And you didn't see these people in owl masks holding candles. You didn't see that in the dark woods. You didn't see any of that. So yeah, it's like, there's loads of them, like, all spread out. It's like, there's no way you don't see that. But it's like they've done that. Is honestly, they've done that like the 7th time. They done it in. I'm pretty sure they done it in episode 1, then episode 2, then maybe it skipped an episode. But pretty much every episode has been that, where someone is standing across from someone talking to them, and someone just walks up and it's like, where you can see. You can clearly see, and this is like the most obvious time where it's like, yeah, he's seen them coming up and did nothing. But they really love that thing. It's like they really think it's like, oh no, I wasn't expecting that. I guess that's why they do it. They think, oh, you know, they think the audience is going to be surprised by it. They just don't realise the audience doesn't fucking care. So, oh, I don't know what happened. So, yeah, then we get they must have seen what happened to him because they've got Turner now. So, Duella's, she's freaking out. Or I think we come back to that. But yeah, so her mum's absolutely trashed the place. You know, all I'm saying, whatever her name is, just put her in a closet. That's what you do with addicts. Put them in a closet. That's all you do. But yeah, Dad comes back. It's like, and her dad's like, "You absolute piece of shit! You didn't give your mum drugs. You are scum of the earth. You know, me and your mum make the rules. I don't think you want a junkie making rules, but okay." So yeah, it's just a whole situation that makes no sense. He's just like, no, you need to give your mum drugs. She has pain after 5 years. You know, his justification is, oh, well, it's chronic. That means forever. So what I'm going to do is basically let my wife kill herself. Because that would look worse in the tabloids. So I don't know why he's not worried about that. But whatever, that's just fake drama for the episode. Don't really care. So, Duella's, you know, she's crying. She's like, we got to go and get him. We got to go and get him. Carrie's like, nah, what we need to do is regroup. And she's just saying, you know, whatever happened to you's wanting to be her heroes. So they're now, like, all of a sudden, she's like, wants to do, like, good things. When we've seen her in preview, like, she's not a good person. Not a good person in the slightest. So, like, so I guess she's in love with him or something. That's all I can really take from it. So yeah, they're gonna go and regroup. She's dead. They're taking Turner away. They need him for something. So they all go, oh, it's that guy. Oh, I didn't see that coming. I couldn't tell by the way his mask was on his face that it was this guy. I couldn't tell by his haircut. So he just looks up at the moon. I guess he's like you know, I guess he's a werewolf. Don't know. Maybe that's what it would turn out to be. So then we go back to, and Harvey wakes up with this on his face and covered in blood. So, you know, I don't know. You know, apparently he's been losing time. Part of me, nah, it can't be. I was gonna say he's probably the. I was gonna say he might be the Talon, but the Talon's just had his fucking head cut off. So it can't be. But you know, he's been missing time. I don't know if he's a member of the Court of Owls. I doubt it because he's not rich. You know, the Court of Owls, they're the elite, not the DA. So I don't think he is one. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see for the next episode. That'll be fun. But that's the whole of episode 8. We've only got 4 to go now, so that's very good. This has been we've now hit an hour. we've now hit an hour breaking this down, but you know, again, just a lot of shite in this episode. But I suppose I'll finish off there because that's, you know, round about an hour. So I do not want to keep you. So yeah, what have we got? So yeah, 4 episodes to go. So you know, we're getting close.